Jimmy McAllister found the net. Goal for Wednesday. A terrific goal by Taylor.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and it's goal. Still Glenn Wheeler. Aidan Fred works the Is there time for a winner?
Hello and welcome to Wednesday Tide Our podcast. This is Extra Time. We're going to be talking about Henrik Pedersen, whether we think when the new owners come in, he's going to stick around and still be the manager of Sheffield Wednesday. Also going to talk about some of the names that we've heard in terms of the potential new owners of Sheffield Wednesday. Some names have been banded around. We'll have a chat and discuss them. Matt, before we do all that, do you find yourself bobbing along to that intro? I find myself playing the imaginary drums every time I hear it, and I'm so glad that people can't see me when I'm doing that, to be fair, Matt.
I find myself running the commentary back in my head. But then, do you know what, James? I actually went back to listen to I needed a clip from an old episode to just make sure that what I was thinking about was exactly right and what had been said the other day. And I didn't skip through it fast enough, and I heard the old introduction, and I was like, and Gassimer finds Masaba, and I was like, wow, what a fucking lifetime that feels.
Yeah, QPR away that one was, I think.
Yeah, that sunny day at QPR where number one, I got let in, and two, where we had genuinely two very exciting players playing on either wing.
I think that was the one where I was in the hospitality and I didn't feel great either and did not take full advantage of that whatsoever. Yeah. But anyway, if you are watching this over on Patreon and you're commenting in the comments, I won't be able to see them. Click on the YouTube title, or it'll say opening YouTube or something like that. Head over to YouTube and comment over there, and I'll be able to see them and we can interact with you. So I'm not ignoring people if you're commenting over in the Patreon comments. Maybe I should just turn them off. I can do that. Anyway, by the by, come over to YouTube. I'll be able to see you. Right, let's talk about Henrik Pedersen then. Amber says, I got it to work. Yay, nice to see you, Amber. Nice great stuff. Let's talk about Henrik Pedersen then. It feels like we're jumping way ahead because we haven't even got new owners in. We don't even know who they are. We haven't even got to that point yet. But let's just say new owners have come in. We see this time and time and time again where new owners join, like our previous owner, comes in, whoever the manager is out the door, and they bring whoever they want in to be the front of the football club. What do you? I mean, I'm kind of sat on the fence a little bit, but I want to know what you think. Kind of, do you think that will happen? Do you think new owners will bring in their new manager? And if so, when do you see it happening as well? Because I think that's quite important. Let's just say new owners are in February time next year.
Henrik Pedersen, to be absolutely crystal clear here, Henrik Pedersen has earned the right to manage this football club from his previous track record and his coaching work at Sheffield Wednesday, and Henrik Pedersen has earned the right to deserve a shot at Sheffield Wednesday. The truth is that's not how football works, and it's not what I personally believe will or what I want to happen. I think the emotional scars that are going to be left over from this season as a result of literally getting whopped week in, week out. Like, we are getting slapped about week in, week out. Yes, we're competitive. Yes, we're this. Yeah, we dress it up in whatever way you want. We are, how many games in, James?
15.
15 games in with one win. Like, there's no two ways about it that you can't dress that up.
10 defeats, or 9 defeats, I think it is, 5 draws, 1 win.
Yeah, I would really hope that the new owners show some level of loyalty to him, try to explain the plan and hear him out from a footballing perspective of what he sees. But I would really hope before that the new owners make any sort of a decision on the manager, there is an appointment of a head of footballing operations, there's a director of football, there is other people brought in to work alongside Kev Beadle in terms of the recruitment standpoint, and then let's see whether Henrik's vision, style, etc. matches with all of that. And if it does, brilliant, he deserves a crack. If it doesn't, my personal feeling right at the start of the season was he's got into this job because of the fact that he was here last season and he wanted to stay when nobody else did. Now, unconfirmed reports were that he turned down a number of offers in the summer from really, really good clubs. Not to be a manager, though, to be a number 2.
Yeah.
And that's me personally, that's, I believe, where his strength is. I believe his strength is as a fantastic assistant.
Yeah, this comment from Chaz is what I think a lot of fans are going to think as well. He says, I think he deserves a chance with the new owners. He was there when we needed him. And I said I was kind of on the fence. I think I'm leaning towards the fact that a new manager will be coming in and it won't be Henrik Pedersen. I think that won't happen immediately. There's no point in doing that until the end of the season, because what is it going to achieve?
Yep.
The squad will look drastically different next season in League One than it does currently now. So you can't even say there's an advantage of getting to know the players and stuff like that. Like, you're going to be onto a downer. You might as well wait until the summer where it can be like fresh, a bit of impetus, a bit of like positivity when heading into the new season and stuff. The other thing though as well, I think certainly as a Sheffield Wednesday fan base, I don't know if this extends to the wider footballing community or not, but certainly as Sheffield Wednesday fans, we are very, very sentimental. I mean, we talk about David Hurst and Chris Waddle as if they've just seen him watch him play last week, like for some people. Yeah. The likes of Liam Palmer is one prime example. You can't criticise Liam Palmer, because the minute you do, you've got 100 people on your back saying, yeah, but what about that goal that we scored at Peterborough? And what about all them games that he's played? And that is absolutely fine. Like, I can't doubt what's happened in the past. Like, lots of things have happened, but it doesn't give you a right to be able to be immune from criticism or even play the next game just because you scored a goal against Peterborough and you've been here all your life. Like, it doesn't work like that. Same thing being just because you was here when we needed you. Like, managers, players get paid a hell of a lot of money, just mainly because probably like they see that their career can be cut short fairly soon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not playing very well, you don't get another deal. But you've earned enough money in the 10 seasons that you have had where you've played all right in order to earn quite a decent living. What I'm saying that is, you have to be ruthless. I think we get caught out a lot by wanting to keep playing the same players all the time and keeping hold of players for far too long when they perhaps should have been moved on. And it's nothing against Henrik, because I don't think you can judge his abilities based on this season whatsoever, because it's such a strange scenario to be in. But if the new owners have got a better candidate or a manager that they feel is better suited, then why not? I've not seen anything from Henrik other than him being an absolute gent of a man that says to me, can't wait to see what he's like with better players, if you know what I mean. And that's no slight on him. I just generally haven't seen it. Yeah,
I agree with you, James. I think, say for argument's sake, were we a well-run club this summer and we had a one-to-way manager, you let that manager go, I would have wanted us to go out and just get the manager who's just been sacked at Norwich in Liam Manning, because of his track record at MK Dons, at Oxford, at Bristol City. Okay, it's not worked out at Norwich, but Norwich is a car crash off the pitch, not necessarily what's happening on it. I would have wanted him in because he's got a track record of doing things right inside of 12 months. You look at Birmingham City. Birmingham City, I'm sure, would have loved to have kept John Eustace. Birmingham City didn't keep John Eustace. They went out and appointed Chris Davis in the end of it, and Chris Davis is still there as manager now. Let's have a look at, again, Wrexham, Phil Parkinson. Phil Parkinson's not a good manager. Phil Parkinson is the beneficiary of a fairy tale that is happening in North Wales. That's all he is. He can set up a team and he says fuck a lot. That's what Phil Parkinson does. His track record dictates that he isn't good enough. With Henrik Pedersen, much like I was with Stuart Gray, I would like to wistfully look back on Henrik Pedersen and go, if he'd have been given a chance, he could have been really good here. I don't want to get into a position where, again, James, I've said it a couple of times on the main show, 12 months down the line, we're hounding this bloke out. because that is where it will get to when there is new owners. You think, let's say for argument's sake here, James, because I know we're going to come on to owners in a second. Let's say Tillman Fertitta or the Waltons or Qataris or whoever it is comes in with genuinely like country level wealth. You're thinking that Henrik Pedersen, because he was with us in his hour of need, in League One with a brand new squad, with arguably what you would like to hope at that level is going to be the best squad that the league has got. You're honestly going to tell me that after 15 games in League One, if he's won 5 of them and drawn a handful, we're all not going to be going, well, he's got to fucking go. He's the problem. Just because he plays this brand of foot, no, he's got to fucking go. Of course that's going to happen. I'd much rather do it at the start of a season to give everybody a total clean slate in terms of get a pre-season under them. Like, you know, they've done it at the Lane. As bad as Ruben Sellers was, that doesn't mean that you run back to Chris Wilder. That means that your idea was right in getting rid of Wilder. You just made a poor appointment. You go on to somebody else. Like, again, it's really difficult because, again, I have the utmost respect for Henrik Pedersen as a person. He won't struggle to get another job in football. Like, he won't.
Yeah, and I think I'm not coming on here saying I think he's a shit manager or anything like that at all, because again, we haven't seen a great deal on it. I think that it's just a fact of the matter is that I think new owners will probably want a clean slate. Like I said, I think he'll get to the end of the season. I know some people have said, "Oh, give him till Christmas," but there's almost an element of if you're just giving him till Christmas, then you're almost like you're already thinking about who the next one's going to be. And I know you should do that anyway because you need to be prepared and stuff like that. But if you're just going to, you've got till Christmas to do something, then why don't you just do that now? Like it's not an uncommon thing for new owners to sack the manager and bring another manager in. It's not like you've appointed him. You haven't. So it's an easy get out of jail card there by saying you're just not in our plans. I mean, a lot of people spoke about him being great as assistant manager. Apparently, he was doing all the attacking stuff when Danny was here. I was actually surprised that he didn't go with Danny. You know, if Danny and him had kind of got Sheffield Wednesday playing in the way that they had done, and especially how I think it was Windass, weren't it, that spoke out and said that it was actually Henrik that did most of the attacking stuff. I was really surprised that he didn't follow with him and go to wherever it was going to, where obviously it ended up at Rangers. He could have ended up anywhere, to be fair.
He tried to end up anywhere.
Well, yeah, he did, yeah. He could have ended up at Ecclesfield Red Rose, to be honest. It wouldn't have surprised me. I mean, there's one here from Neville. Would we have wanted him? There you go. Would we have wanted Henrik Pedersen as manager if we were run like a normal club? Like that is, like we literally could, it made perfect sense for him just to stay on because he was already here. We wouldn't have, one, who would have come to Sheffield Wednesday, to be honest. But yeah, I think it comes down to the sentimental reasons. And that is only the reason why people would say, don't get rid of him, because it's not fair. And again, I get that from a
humanitarian perspective. I get it. Yeah.
The optics on it is shit. Like, it's really bad. Like, you've helped us out. Like, thank you so much for helping, but fuck off and get someone else in. You're like, what? Like, what's all that about? Like, again, in our line of work, Matt, or any other person's quote unquote normal, working procedure, you'd be taking, you'd be going for unfair dismissal, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you'd be going for. But unfortunately, that doesn't exist in football. And you do have to be ruthless. And I think also, I think you would look at the new owners and go, right, okay. Because, what do you think the reaction would be, Matt? So we get to the end of the season. New owners have already come in. We get to the end of the season, and it comes up, Henrik Pedersen has been relieved of duties. Mm-hmm. What do you think the reaction from the wider fan base is going to be?
I think it depends on the owner.
Yeah.
That's the honest answer, James. I think if the owner is a multi-billionaire...
All right, the Walton Penner Group
okay,
come in.
Let's say it's them. Everybody will be so enamoured by the fact that we've got Walmart plastered in its replaced Presto, the fact that they've announced a huge new training complex, the fact that they've announced all plans to redevelop Hillsborough. This will go under the radar. This will be like, oh, that's a shame. Anyway, let's have a look at our shiny new Nike kits. Because that is, nicest will in the world, that's exactly what we did with Stuart Gray when he was sacked.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we did because we thought we had tuna books. Everybody was like, oh, fucking hell, tuna books. Oh, he's managed European level leagues. Okay, cool. We'll have, look at all these shiny signings. And you forget about it.
Let's not forget, there is another, how many games left? 20 odd games left?
Yeah.
More than that, nearly 30 games left in the season. We've only won one of the first 15.
Correct.
Now, again, that is nothing to do with him, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. Fast forward to the end of the season when we have won 3 games, let's say. If we carry on in the same form, 3 games we've won, we've lost 20 odd games and drawn a handful as well. We could have got a lot. We could have been very tired of Henrik Pedersen by that point. And again, it's a bit of there would be a bit of a reset with the new owners. But again, it's a reset, a refresh, new season, new club, new us, new Sheffield Wednesday. Clear the decks and let's get some new people in. And
also, James, if I am being completely honest, from a coaching perspective here, I've seen this is coming up on 2 years, roughly 2 years, just over 2 years that we've seen this individual be involved with the football club. We're great in between both boxes. Can't defend, don't score enough. Now, you can argue, put better players in those positions will get better. Will it? You don't know. You don't know that's for certain. The style of football, we're great for 20 minutes in a game. But last year was very similar in terms of the attacking intent and shape that we are intending to play now. In terms of very pretty up to the edge of the box. Get to the edge of the box and then it becomes, you have to have a perfect crossing opportunity. We play this year really, really similar. Now we seem to afford... the start of the season at Leicester, I actually thought, do you know what? We might actually make a fist of this year because it was so different. Because it was, get it forward, bounce it off cads, get up around them, nick a goal when you can. Now we are just, again, nicest will in the world, we are just a Temu version of what we were last year. Yeah. We are just, get it into these areas, get it here, get it here. Set pieces have been consistently shit since he's been in. Not just Henrik Pedersen, but the coaching staff who was here previously, both offensively and defensively. We are not strong enough in a tackle, ever. We're never physically strong enough or capable enough. We're a very pretty on the eye side. We all know, regardless of how Birmingham romped to a league title last year, what wins you promotion from that division is horrible, horrible stuff. Do I think Henrik Pedersen has the capacity to coach that? I'm not sure it fits with his principles as an individual. And it's not a slight on him in any way, shape or form, because he is technically an exceptional coach, arguably first team manager. I just think that it would be, from my perspective, I would like to see a completely fresh slate because it's hard changing that mentality from what we've seen, from what will be in that time 3 years down the line. You're not going to completely reinvent the wheel, are you, after 3 years? You know what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, I'll come back onto it. It'll be a shame if he does leave, and I've got not a bad word to say about him and things like that. But also as well, I look at another manager who was loved by the fans. What a lovely gent he was. Darren Moore.
Yeah.
He's managing Port Vale, who are, I think, next to bottom in League One at the moment. Again, I mean, in the nicest way in the world. I loved Darren Moore. I thought he was fantastic. We were so unlucky in the manner in which we, didn't go up automatic in that season, but the way that we came through and seeing Hayo Silver lining his hands up and all that, everything else, fantastic. And the way he went was horrible and stuff like that. However, you do have to have a bit of a nasty streak in you. I think sometimes you have to be a bit ruthless in order to be a successful... I mean, look, I'm sat here talking on a podcast. Darren Moore has been a professional footballer and also is a professional, is a manager of a professional football team. And I'm here saying you have to have a bit of a nasty streak about you. I'm sure, he's done very well for himself. To get that to that next level, you do have to make some big decisions and some big calls sometimes, and have the balls to be able to do that. And I think, that's what
the situation at Sheffield Wednesday is not in isolation, because he was sacked from West Brom, a club where he is a legitimate club legend. He was sacked at West Brom for being, quote unquote, too nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's not because I want Henrik. If Henrik Pedersen is lining up on that touchline in August and he's been backed and the owners have committed to him and they've given him a new contract and he's here for another 2-3 years and we're looking to build around him, and the head of recruitment and the head of the director of football and the owners have given him his full support and all the rest of it, I will stand behind him like every single person should. Now sat here in November in the cold, cold depths of winter, pre-new ownership, hit or miss for me. It's either way.
Yeah, exactly. I think the response for me from the fans, I think, will be a slight little bit of anger initially. Straight away, it will be what you done that for, a bit of shock and stuff like that, because people won't kind of expect it unless it does kind of get drip fed in, you know what I mean? That this will happen at the end of the season, and he will be relieved of his duties and stuff. Which I hope it will, because then the last game of the season, if that does happen, of course. So the the last game of the season will be a bit of a farewell and a thank you and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully, I mean, you never know. You mentioned about him being an assistant and stuff. He might be the new assistant or a coach or something and stay at Sheffield Wednesday. You never know.
I was going to say, James, because I know we're trying to move it onto the ownership chat. I would say that it would have a huge emotional toll on the players and impact the players. There'll be barely any of them here.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, I would be going, oh my God, how are the players going to cope with this person who's stuck by them through thick and thin, etc., etc. Nigh on, 80% of the squad are out of contract at the end of the year, and we'd probably be looking to get rid of all bar maybe a few. I don't think it is a full sea change at Sheffield Wednesday, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of all for it.
Yeah, let's talk about some of these names then that have been rumoured to be buying Sheffield Wednesday. I think there's been quite a few that have been banded around. To be honest, one of them that we saw. Yep. I didn't see him, but he's been pictured as being at the game, which I know caused quite a lot of controversy. Not necessarily for him, for the person that
the person who's pointed in that photo. Yeah,
he was pictured with. Yes, Charlie Methven, formerly of Sunderland, who people have seen in the documentary that was on Netflix, and also more recently he was at the CEO of Charlton. He was the CEO, weren't he? I'm not.
So,
yeah. It was at Charlton anyway. Well, he's been spotted at the game on Wednesday against Norwich as a potential maybe. Well, he's not there by chance. It's no coincidence that someone that was at Sunderland and at Charlton in a fairly executive position is now at watching a match between two clubs where one is in administration and looking for new owners. I mean, even I can join the dots up with with that one. Simon did kind of reference him without saying his name, although some fantastic people actually could join the dots together and got the same name. Obviously, that's now come out, of course. It's fair. I think it's fair to say, Matt, that not many people would like Charlie as being the involved in Sheffield Wednesday. Let's put it that way.
It's really interesting this because, again, I spoke about this on the main show. I want to hear all of these people's plans. I want to hear what their plan is, what their idea is for the football club before completely writing them off. Don't get me wrong, Sunderland Till I Die, that documentary made him look like a twat. As do Sunderland fans. They will tell you he is a twat. They will tell you he's a prick. They cannot stand him. He didn't understand the football club. They believe that he fundamentally did not understand people north of Oxford. They're all this, they're all that up north. He went to Eton, so he sounds like a twat as well. There's a lot of things going against him. You speak to Charlton fans are like, yeah, he was fine, did well, was all right for us and quietly sold his share.
I just want to bring this up quickly. Daniel says, do we get a PowerPoint presentation to the fans and then pick the best plan? Is that what you want in, Matt?
I would like, say for argument, and this is difficult, and this is where I think I differ massively from most people who originally, I titled them as the I want it all done behind closed doors brigade. I don't. I would quite like owners to do shit like that. To sit down on a fans forum, said, I've bid for the football club, whether they're successful or not. I've bid for the football club. This is what my intention is. And you could put that out via the club. It could actually be a stipulation upon buying the club. And I'm not saying that fans have a fucking vote. I'm saying that actually you understand that there is more than one way to skin a cat out here. Like there is more. There is the way to go about it that Wrexham have done, where yes, they've been very forward-thinking, very progressive. They've done lots of things, but let's be honest, they've spent coin to get there.
For me, though, Matt, just on that, again, if you were looking to buy the club and you put your plan out there and it gets absolute pelters, you might go, I don't think I'll bid quite as much for this football club.
Or I'll save my money.
I'll withdraw. I'm not going to... It sounds like a tough gig, this one. If you put it out there and you might be thinking, let's just use some fantasies numbers, I don't know, 40 million to buy the football club. And that's what you're thinking of bidding, and you put your plan out there, and then everyone's like, oh my God, this is absolutely groundbreaking stuff. You might be thinking, do you know what? This is... Because, again, there's no guarantee that you might even be the top bidder for the club in this current state in administration. You might think, actually, I'm going to put another 5 or another 10 on that because especially if it gets to the closed bid stages, which Chris did mention could actually potentially happen if there are too many people involved. You might be like, I really need this club because everyone's absolutely buzzing over my plan and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it would make it would be, from a fan's perspective and from the new potential owner's perspective, I think it would make perfect sense.
I think, James, with that, I go back to, and I mean this very nicely, and I said this obviously on the main pod, it goes back to what people's preconceived ideas are about people. Because I can tell you now that as we sit here recording this on the 9th of November, if Charlie Methven and the Qataris put out the exact same plan, 9 out of 10 people pick the Qataris.
100%.
Because they don't know who they are, because they don't know that Sunderland fans hate them, because they don't know about this. They ignore the human rights issues that are going on. They shelve all of the stuff surrounding like rights in their country because they go, well, they've got... Newcastle fans did it. They had an owner in Mike Ashley who was running the club sustainably. Not well, sustainably. Wasn't running it well, let's be completely honest about that, but he was running it sustainably. Saudi Arabia bought the football club, not a consortium. Saudi Arabia, a country, bought the football club, and people shelved the fact that there's beheadings in the country. They shelved all of these morality kind of issues, and people were dressed up as fake sheikhs outside the fucking St James's Park.
I tell you now, Walton's with no plan out trumps pretty much 90, any of the other names with a plan. Like it does in 95% of the Wednesday fan base's eyes. That's what they do not give two flying fucks about what the plan is, what they're going to do, anything. They just see the dollar signs and they're going, wow, that this is going to be just instant success overnight. And it might be. Like, I'm not saying that it won't. But what I mean is, if they didn't have a plan, you could pick two people. You could pick Mr. X with a plan and some decent wealth, or like you said, we're talking billions of pound wealth without seeing any sort of plan of what they're going to do or anything like that. People are just going to pick the person that's got the most money, but look at where that got us with I'm not saying
that's the point I'm trying to make, James.
I'm not saying that he who shall not be named had that sort of wealth, but we looked at the time and we're like, bloody hell, Thai Union Foods, they have got a lot of money, and we just didn't care what he was going to do with it, did we? Really?
And that is quite literally my point here, James. Is people have heard billions rather than millions and have lost their fucking senses. Like, genuinely lost their marbles and I mean this nicely, how in the last 8 years of what we have been through as a fan base, how have we not learnt that it's not about how big your fucking bank account is. No one gives a shit. It's actually the other stuff that is important. It's not anything to do. Again, I can have 70 billion in the bank account. Don't make any difference. I can only spend 39 million over 3 years. I can build a shiny new training ground. I can build a brand new stadium. I can buy half of the city and turn it into a sports quarter like they're doing at Birmingham City. You can't invest more at the football club unless you're doing player trading, because the Football League and the Premier League is set up to keep the wealthy at the top and the top clubs at the top and everybody else below them. Look at Newcastle. They are the wealthiest club on the planet by a mile. Their owners are so wealthy. Guess what? Alexander Isak still wants to fuck off to Liverpool.
Yeah.
It does not make any difference. There is a pecking order, and you've just got to know your place. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking now. People regard Brentford as one of the well-run football clubs, and they're quite established now in the Premier League, like it or hate it or not. I don't even know who their owner was. Apparently, it's Matthew Benham. He's the owner of Brentford. Never heard of him, although saying that, I've never heard of some of these names that apparently looking at Sheffield Wednesday either.
Yeah.
His net worth around $280 million, apparently, which is, again, it's a lot of money, more money than I've got. But it's not, it's not a... Actually, to be fair, I think that could actually be just the value of Brentford. I don't know. I don't know how much money he's got, but it's not billions or so. The point I was trying to make is you don't need all this money to be successful in football. And again, it might sound like I'm just poo-pooing the Waltons and stuff. I would love it if they did come in, because that would generally, me following Sheffield Wednesday, I've not seen anything like that at all. All I've seen is shit, basically, in the 25 years that Wednesday have been out of the Premier League. That would gives us an opportunity there where that could be the best opportunity for us to get where we need to be, just from a money perspective. If you just throw money at it, it'd be great. But again, it comes back to like having some sort of plan and things like that. Anyway, we've kind of sidetracked to talking about these people. Charles, my thoughts on it is kind of what you said, really. I think he's been... I think people are getting a bit angry about him just because of who he's been seen with.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I'm just gonna beat. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like, I think people don't like him because he's associated with Simon.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, which again he's
and he's a meme. And he's a meme of EDM music begins to play. That's the reason why people don't like him.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. I had a message from a Sunderland. I'm in a group with all the different fans from different clubs and stuff. And the Sunderland fan, like you said, the Sunderland fan was like, if he is involved in the football club, he says, please run away now. And that's what he was saying. That's from a Sunderland fan. And yeah, but I did see some comments underneath from some Charlton fans who were like, he's not that bad. He's all right and things. Mm-hmm. So it is. I don't know. Look, again, would I be excited if he became? Because my understanding is he wouldn't be the owner. He's not got that much money.
He's not the money man.
He's got people behind him that would be he would be the CEO. I'm guessing maybe if he was to take over. Would I be excited? No, not really. I think there's other names that do kind of excite me really, but I'm not going to distance myself from it and say I really don't want it. I know quite a lot of people do feel really strongly about him, but again, I go back to my kind of personality, and I do give people a chance, rightly or wrongly. I do give people a, like you said, it might not work somewhere else. It might work here. I don't know.
The question that I would have, James, is like for an individual like him, that's like signing a footballer and automatically making your mind up that he's dog shit before you've even signed him. And then when you sign him, he's dog shit. And no matter how well he does, he's crap. And the other thing that I would say on this, I would say it on the Qataris, I would say it on Walter Penner, I would say it about John Textor, Mike Ashley. I'd say it about all of them. We are judging off knowing not enough about the bidders, because that is the way the process is set up, that you don't know them. The only reason we know about this individual is because he's been pictured at a game. That is the only reason that you know. Do we know what happened in terms of the conversations and who he spoke to at that game outside of one person? No, we don't. Nobody does. Do we know who his backers are? No, we don't. Only that consortium will do. Do we know anything to do with who they would be looking to hire or recruit? No, we don't. The exact same way I don't know about the Qataris, the Waltons, John Textor, or Mike Ashley. I don't know fuck all about any of them. I don't know who they'd bring in. I don't know anything about it. So actually, yes, going in with your eyes open about things is worthwhile, but that works both ways. Just because somebody has 1.7 billion next to their name, it doesn't make them a good owner. It's about, can you give it... Do you know what, John? This is the perfect analogy. Me and Weatherspoons with a billionaire, both going to get pissed regardless of wealth. When I say that, I mean, it's looking at it is all of these... it doesn't matter how much your money is. You've got one idea, and you've got to get it. You've got to get it right. You're all walking into the same situation.
If the end goal is getting pissed, you can either do that with White Lightning, or you can do that with
Bollinger or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter what you're drinking, does it? Really, to be fair. Let's move on and talk about another name that came out of the woodwork today. A name that I've not heard of before. Finn Rausing is his name. He's a Swedish billionaire heir and businessman, according to Wikipedia. He's the co-owner of Tetra Laval, the packaging company, and he was the former co-owner of Sauber Motorsport and the Alfa Romeo Formula One team before he sold it in 2024 to Audi. Apparently he's a net worth of 8 billion, and that was in October 2019, apparently. I know absolutely nothing about this person. Matt, it does feel like there are names just getting thrown out left, right and centre, and it's no surprise. However, I do find it quite refreshing that all these people are being spoken about Sheffield Wednesday. Just on a personal level, it's great that we got told that nobody wants to buy Sheffield Wednesday. There's not people buying football clubs. But apparently, I mean, how true these are, I've no idea. But there's lots of names going out there.
I think it depends. Again, James, it depends on... This is an individual who has, correct me if I'm wrong, no footballing background.
I don't think so, no.
No, they have a background in motorsport, and they've got a background in selling to, basically packaging a team and then selling it to Audi, which is great.
I mean, to be fair, it's a shit Formula One team, so he'll feel at home at Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair.
I mean, it's fantastic to make money from his own individual worth perspective. My question would be, football is very different to Formula One, very different in terms of, structure in sport is fairly straightforward. Doesn't really matter what sport it is, aside from a sport where you play it individually, like tennis or golf or something like that. Setting up a sports team is, now the modern way to do it is by having somebody who pays the bills, then somebody underneath who actually knows what the fuck they're doing and runs it. Then underneath that, you have loads of little subdivisions of people who manage all the other people, and then it goes down and down and down. Ultimately, if he comes in and implements that, comes to games, sits in the director's box occasionally, because he won't be there at every game, sits in the director's box, claps along to Iho Silver Lining and carries on signing the checks and is happy. Great owner. Genuinely great owner. Does that strike me as somebody who is going to start to develop us into this really progressive... Again... We've mentioned them before about Brentford. I don't want to be Brentford. I want to be the next Brentford. as in what's the next thing that's going to get you there? Because football changes and evolves. You can redo what Brentford did, but to do something truly exceptional like Brentford did, who are a perennial League 2, League 1 club, to now be a sustainable Premier League club, you have to do something outside the box. If you're going to chuck 8-point-something billion at it, go really in there. Go really off the wall for it. Try and do something different. To me, again, I would judge them on what they're doing here. The track record, I don't have one to go off. Yeah,
again, I suppose, asking you to give your opinion on someone who you have no idea who he is, and without that plan, he's very, very difficult, isn't it, really? There was another one that came out today as well, Matt. Ryan Howsam, is his name. I think that was the one on, is it the Times that spoke about him, the insurance tycoon, who their headline was Staysure founder Ryan Howsam may bid for Sheffield Wednesday. I've not fucking knows where this article's come from. It was late at night, I guess.
Somebody who wants his name out there for buying a football club.
Yeah, insurance tycoon considers competing with Mike Ashley to rescue the Championship football club that went into administration last month. I can't read it because I'm not subscribed to the Times. I am on my phone. I don't know why it's not pulled through, but anyway, he's got a website. Ryan Howsam has got a website, but saying that, so did David Stockdale as well.
So it's amazing what he can do in it with a computer.
Yeah, apparently, what did it? Philanthropist.
Yeah, philanthropist.
I still have no idea what the bloody hell that one is.
Invest, basically. It's a fancy word for I'm filthy rich and I want to make myself seem like a good person.
Oh, right, okay. Well, he doesn't have this on his website. He Staysure is a market-leading insurance group, invest in a range of other companies, and he's got investing. He looks for opportunities to innovate, dominate, and disrupt a space.
Ooh, edgy.
Yeah. Oof. And then 90 Days is my own proprietary tech-based on the OKR framework. I use it to achieve clarity and focus. Fuck knows what that is.
To me, James, when I read this, I read it as somebody who's potentially interested in getting into professional sports but doesn't have a fucking clue. So that to me signalled as wealth management and capital companies, please come at me. I'd like to throw some money at you. It also read to me as it's free advertising for his businesses.
Well, I've clicked on his website anyway.
And that's what I mean, is you've then clicked on that, you've then gone into this, you've then gone into this. Now, if you're in the spaces where he operates, which I'm sure there will be somebody on a Sheffield Wednesday forum somewhere who goes, oh my God, I've heard this guy speak at a lecture, he'll be fucking amazing. How do you know?
I mean,
how the fuck do you know?
There's a red flag here. I've gone on to how he does business, and apparently he's got 1,000 employees on the nose in 50 countries. Again, What a lovely round number. And he's had £50 million worth of investments today. I mean, that's really round numbers, that, isn't it? He's got. He did have 1,001, but he said I can't have 1,001 because it's going to look a bit odd on my website.
You said it about followers earlier. Get it from 19.1 to 20. It just makes it look better.
All right, granted, you've done me on that one. To be fair,
EK Youngboy back post 1-0.
Missed it, unfortunately.
It's own goal, by the way.
Yeah. Liam says may bid. Yeah. Yes, you are right. And John says it sounds like Ugbo. What's that?
I think it was in relation to the previous bidder who we were talking about and some of the missed opportunities. But again, Again, James, we've got to run down left on the list. We've got the Qataris, we've got the Walter Penner Group, we've got John Texter, we've got Mike Ashley. The reality is, until a new owner is wheeled out with a scarf, stood on the Hillsborough pitch with the lights on, because obviously there's no sunlight nowadays, and they actually come out and sit down and give their idea and vision for the football club, every single person, myself included, is fucking guessing. But
it is one for you then, Matt. Obviously, the euphoria that we had when our previous owner, when it was announced that we were going into administration, there was massive hysteria amongst the fan base. It was some people were reduced to tears. I know I got quite emotional as well. Yeah. That episode was now over and we could move forward. Do you feel that in not a long, in a fairly short space of time, we could suddenly have totally forgotten about what it was like only 2-3 months ago, and we're already into like, oh my God, it needs to be him. I can't have him. Like, do you know what I mean? I think the point I'm trying to make, do you think we should still be grateful that episode is now over, and whoever the next owners may be, they are not like, I'll put my house on them not being as bad as what it was previously. I mean, if it is, oh my, like literally, I'm going to quit following football. I'm just going to pack in. Like, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? I think we as fans were quite quick to forget certain things when presented with something fairly new.
I sent a message to Gaz Robinson, I think it was on Friday morning before all that shitstorm took place on social media, which basically said, look at us as Sheffield Wednesday fans. And I likened it to the end of a night where, as a lad, when you were single, you'd be looking around at the end of a night thinking, right, I'm single. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do? And rather than just being really grateful for the conversation, the night out that you've had with your mates, the wings and fries or Chinese or whatever you would get on the way home, and just being really grateful for whatever it was that your night turned out, it was unless I'm taking home the girl who I've had my eye on for the entire evening here, who in my eyes is an absolute 10 out of 10 stunner, or lad, whatever your preference, my night's a failure. And that's kind of what I likened it to for him, because I look at this and go, I am genuinely, I think when all of the dust has settled, you remove the emotion from it. This is a fantastic opportunity because the club is at a hard reset. But the club was at a hard reset in 2011. And look at how that turned out. So actually, do you know what, here? I just want somebody to come in and continue to do the basics that the administrative team have done. This is what you see from the administrative team. You see a genuine world market leader in insolvency, understanding the business they're working with inside of 3 weeks better than the previous owner did in 10 years. If you can get an owner to just come in, and if I was the owner, I would be using the 3 months to let my lawyers do all of the digging and sitting down with the administrative team and go, right, what the fuck have you done here? Because I think if I'm in Chris's shoes and the rest of the administrative team's shoes, I'd go, actually, do you know what? We actually haven't done that much.
Yeah.
All we've done is talk to people honestly. So you need to find someone who's good from a PR standpoint in terms of just being dead honest and blunt.
And it can be anyone as well, by the way. It doesn't need to be a big name.
Nope.
It can be anyone. Because who was Chris Wigfield? I mean, nicest woman in the world. Chris Wigfield was nobody. Some people might have known him. I certainly didn't, and I'm not saying I speak for the whole of the fan base, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't know who he was. All of a sudden, we're building a statue outside of Hillsborough.
So on this, I'm just going to pull this point up here, Amber. I think Sheffield Wednesday would need to pay quite a large salary to tempt Chris out of what he's doing. Because again, I'm sure when all of the figures and facts and figures, and don't get me wrong, Begbie's and trainers, have earned their money on this. But I think a number of people will be quite surprised by the figure that's going to come out, because of insolvency practitioners are not cheap. I cannot stress this enough. And the reason why I would say this, James, is because, again, just after we've been put into administration, I played golf shock with a friend of mine who is a corporate lawyer. And he said, I've noticed that Chris from Begbie's is in at your club. And I went, do you know him? And he went, no, I know the firm, though. And I went, oh, okay, talk to me about him. He said, expensive. That was literally the only thing that came out his mouth, aside from they'll do a really good job. Yeah. So again, I'd look at it and just say he is doing a great job. He also does have an inside track of being a fan. Nicest will in the world would just like him to go back to being an insolvency practitioner and putting his feet up on a beach with a nice paycheck that he'll get towards the end of the year or the start of next year. I want people who are in this football club who are coming at it with new ideas, fresh impetus, and want to be here for the long haul.
But it does show you how easy, and I'm not saying it is going to be an easy job, but just literally, we are so receptive to just
anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to put much thought into it. Again, no shade on the people at the football club at the moment. They haven't exactly, if I could pick any other football club and they're probably doing, if I look at Sheffield United, and again, I hate doing this, but you see some of the videos that they put out, the kit launches that they're doing, they are just, even the ones that we did with the Sherlocks, and we did ones with the boxer as well that we did a few years, Dalton Smith. The ideas are great. The execution is piss poor in comparison to others that are putting this sort of stuff out there. Like the images that we're going. I'm just talking about the media team here. Like, because they've invested. They've probably got maybe 4 or 5 different people. It certainly looks like that anyway. Like, they've got a videographer, a photographer. They've got all these people that are good on Photoshop and everything else. Presenting all these really good graphics and making the club look 10 times better than what it actually is. We're not even doing any of that sort of stuff, and already we're like, oh my god, we did a video in the corner of the ground for 2 minutes, and everyone's like, wow,
flickering.
like fucking flickering. Oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you literally don't have to do a dot, and we just buzz off it all. Like,
we still wear like that fucking video. You did it for the bloody Trust Q&A. We still wear like that. We were founded in 1860. Dum, dum, dum. It's like, this is the greatest piece of media that this football club has ever
It's a montage. It's just a montage with an owl that flies off the top of the bloody south stand and onto someone's arm. I saw that in Chuffing in Park of a week. Like,
oh man.
Like, but that's what I mean. It's just such an easy win. Like, we talk about all the easy wins. Speak to Nike and get a Nike kit. You'll sell bloody shitloads of them for next season.
Yeah. It'd be our biggest selling kit ever. And you make the away kit a blackout one, genuine proper blackout one. Oh my god, you'd make
the away kit black and gold, and
Brian, you make a fortune.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I just want to read a few comments out before we do finish. Amber says it's about structure. The money is important to a degree. The problem with the ex was he wanted to sell the pie, sweep the stadium, score the goals. It's a team of experts. Agreed. Yep. John says, who cares? Build us a spanking new stadium and a training ground. That's what we like to see, John.
Get it sponsored by Asda.
Yeah. Tony says, I can't wait when it's none of them. And it probably will be none of them either, because if Chris is to be believed, which I've got no reason not to believe him, when I asked him the question about the NDAs and what happens if someone breaks them, and obviously it was clearly heavily aimed at Simon, that question, and Charlie Methan. He said that basically none of the people that have been spoken about have actually, are the 7 that have actually put the 50 million up front. Look, again, he could be lying on that.
Remember, Chris is very tired.
Yeah, he is very tired. Yeah, but that's what I got from that, is that the people that have been spoken about aren't the people that have bidded, according to him. But let's find out. Daniel, this is a great point from Daniel. A good owner is one probably that we've never heard of and just runs the club properly, like you said earlier about the Brentford bloke. Yeah, I have no idea who the Brentford chairman is whatsoever, but puts people in.
James, really seriously, can you remember his name? You looked him up. Can you remember his name?
No.
No, exactly. That's the point.
Matthew Benham is his name. I did have it up there. I didn't look. I couldn't.
That's the point.
Do you know what I had in my head? I had Benjamin Bloom in my head. But I know he's a fantastic EFL content creator.
All in my head I had was Kick Sauber Audi. And then I was thinking, who the fuck is it?
And do you know why I had Bloom in my head is because I also looked at Brighton as well, and his name is Tony Bloom.
And incidentally, guess where he is now?
Come on. At the Formula One?
Who's top of the Scottish division?
Hearts of Midlothian.
Tony Bloom went in there as a minority investor and helped them to run their football club.
Oh, that's it. Can he take over Sheffield Wednesday as well?
He spied an opportunity and thought Scottish football needed revolutionising and shaking up to make it a really competitive league. Funny that.
Yeah, very, very funny. George says we've left one relationship, and when we get in the next, we'll miss this stage where we were single and mingling no matter how good the new owner is. Yeah, agreed. John says, no disrespect for Brentford, but we are massive, capital M, capital A. Correct. There for your Matt. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do join Discord. I can see people that are Patreon members, and I can see if you're on Discord or not. The only reason why I say it is because it's fantastic community.
Yeah.
All right, yes, it can be a little bit daunting, but you don't have to post loads of stuff in there. You can be a lurker if you want to. If you want to know how to join on Discord, go on Patreon. There's a pinned post at the top. It gives you all the instructions on how you need to do it. You just sign up to Discord, you link your Patreon account, and it will just automatically add you to the server. I know I'm probably using words that you're thinking, oh my God, that sounds so complicated. Honestly, it's not as complicated as you think. It's just like...
click the link, don't you? You download the app, click the link.
Exactly, that's all you need to do, and it is a fantastic community. I'm sure everyone will vouch for me when I say that. There's, especially if you're thinking social media is quite toxic and a bit much, it's just a safe community over there, and you get that as part of the Patreon as well. So yeah, head over there, and it's do definitely please sign up. It's not going to cost you anything extra or anything like that, and yeah, it's always certainly.
Sorry, James, if I can just give a slight separate plug for it. When it feels like the world is melting down on other social media platforms, just head over there. What you will get is arguments, but you will get a balanced argument where everybody at the end of it just goes, do you know what? I either agree with your viewpoint or I disagree with it, but we can all be respectful about one.
Do you know what?
It's a really nice space.
They don't call each other wankers, like, just constantly. You can actually have an opposing view to someone and still get on with them as well, and you see that quite a lot, and it's just a really good group of people. So please do join it as well. Again, thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to wrap it up there. We will still be doing all this content throughout the international break, so can't wait for the best 11. This weekend. I'm sure we've got something else to talk about.
I was going to say,
no doubt.
I think there might be another game coming up on the horizon which might take a little bit of precedent.
Maybe. You never know. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers.